Hello and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie and welcome to my weekly WIP Chat, which is where I work on a work in progress, a diamond painting, and you can either diamond paint along with me or you can treat this as a podcast, and you can also work on any other type of craft if you would like, or just do nothing and relax. So let me get everything situated here and I will be right back. Today my work in progress is The Moon by Alphonse Mucha from Diamond Painting Shop, and I've been working on this one actually since last summer. I worked on it some and then I had to put it away and start working on something else and just never have gotten back to it, and so I am trying my best to get this finished in March. So this is going to be my focus, and then I will also work on a couple of other diamond paintings while I'm working on this one. So I am using an Enabler's Outpost pen, same one I've been using for a while. When I start to use a pen, I just typically will use the same pen until I'm done with a diamond painting session, or I decide I want to change out pens. And this one goes perfectly with this canvas, so I thought, why not? I will continue to use my Enabler's Outpost pen. I'm using a tray from Kitten Up Kitten. Make sure you can see that. I have a couple of her trays, and then I am using Patsy Putty in my multi, and in my single placer I am using a very old glue dot. And I probably will have to stop and change it out with you guys. Hopefully it will last, because then I'll be fighting a glue dot for the rest of my diamond painting session here. And hoping that I don't have to do that. This tray does have a stopper. I don't really use stoppers, and I'm really bad about losing the stoppers. I actually know where this stopper is, so that is a good thing. But I tend to put them to the side, and then it's like, okay, what did I do with that stopper? And since I don't really use them, it doesn't really matter, but I do hate when I lose something. So how are you guys doing this week? I know it's just the start of the week. If you are listening to this when it comes out, it will be Tuesday for you. It is a busy, crazy start of the week, Monday for me. I hope that this isn't the sign of how this entire week is going to go, because if it is going to be a doozy. But let me know how everybody is doing, and welcome. So glad that you have found my channel if you are new. And if you're not new, welcome back, and thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate all of you guys. And I have just hit another milestone thanks to all of you. And I have just hit 2,300 subscribers. And I know for a lot of people that may not be much, because they have quite a bit more than me. My channel is small, but I am just excited about it. I wasn't sure if I would even make 1,000 plus surpass 1,000. I have just reached my 2nd year anniversary for YouTube, which is hard to believe too. It has gone by really fast. I still feel like I'm a newbie, that I still have so much to learn. It's like every week I tend to learn something else, and so I can see that it's helping my channel. It is helping with the content, with the sound. I am trying a new way of recording, it's not really a new way, but I am using a new phone stand, and we'll see if I'm going to like it better than my other one. The other one served its purpose, but I think that I need something more now where I can get to more areas on my table and you can see it a little better. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. I also have tweaked the sound a little bit. So let me know what you think about that also. And then I have changed, and I'm not sure if I like this or not, but I have actually changed my intro to where I will have the short intro of the Crafty Diamond that comes after I announce what I'm going to be doing. And let me know what you guys think about that. I had someone that is very well versed in YouTube. He actually teaches some classes. And so I was just asking, some questions. And he said that you should always have your music, after you introduce the video, and that people like that better. But I'm not so sure. I'm not sure how I like it. So let me know what you guys think. If you like to have an intro and then have the intro music after, which is how I have this video, or if you like it the way that I have done it in the past, and how most of the community does is that they have their intro music, if they have any, and then they will start the video. So anyway, just let me know what you guys think. I would really like to know your input. Let me know how you like the way that I have this angle today, and not sure how I like it. I think there is going to be somewhat of a glare on this today because it is very cloudy, just a yucky looking day. And so I'm having to use overhead light, and I'm also having to use my light that I sometimes will use when I record, just to give it more light to my diamond painting. So it also will reflect the plastic cover that is on my diamond painting. And especially on this one, it's not as thick as some of the other covers. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but there is a slight glare, and there's not anything I can really do about that, so I do apologize. This time of year in Georgia is not the best. We start to have a lot of rainy days, start to have a lot of storms, and that's usually March and April, and then it goes sometimes into May. But that also means that we're starting to see some spring signs, but it's still cold. So I'll be glad when it does get warmer. I just do not like cold weather. I absolutely hate it. The only good thing about Georgia weather, the winter, is that my husband builds the most amazing fires on the weekends. He actually loves to build a fire. And it seems like every time that he builds one, he gets better and better. And he's been doing this for years and years. And we had like the perfect fire on Saturday night. It warmed up the whole house. I am really getting spring fever though, even though it's so cold. I do this every year, and then I hate spring because of my allergies. Anytime that I go out, everything is blooming. I have terrible allergies, and so does my daughter Paige. Madison didn't have allergies as bad as us, and then now that she is living in South Dakota, she hasn't had any allergies because of their weather. But that's the only thing I'm dreading. I've already started Paige on her allergy regimen so that hopefully we can get her used to it before everything starts blooming so bad, and she doesn't have such severe allergies and have to go and take all this medication and stuff. So we'll see that how well that's going to do this year. And especially with her working out in public. She works 6 hours a week, and she works in a restaurant, so I'm sure she's around a lot of people and dealing with different things and having to clean up after them and that kind of stuff. But so far so good. I'm hoping that it stays that way. But my husband and I have been talking about it for years, and we finally decided to go for it. And we bought a bird bath. And it was so funny because we've been looking everywhere for a particular bird bath. And I told him, I said, we've been talking about a bird bath. Are we going to get one this year? And he knew what I was looking for. And so I had to go in and do a little bit of work on a Saturday. And he was off, and he had some errands to run. And so he came back and he put this bird bath up in our front yard. And we have a gazebo, so we did it right by close to the gazebo. And then he didn't say anything, and he didn't tell me he bought it or anything. And he put water in it, got it ready for the birds, and then he went and he got our bird feeders out and cleaned those up. I think it's a little early for that, but I didn't say anything. And then he went and bought another bird feeder because ours had gotten torn up, our second one last year. And he got some different types of bird seed. And then he went and bought a squirrel feeder and bought some squirrel food. And then again, didn't say anything. And so whenever I had gotten home and Paige was with me, and so she got home and started putting some things away, and then she was looking outside because she was looking, the cat was looking outside and kept wagging her tail and kind of making weird noises. So Paige decided to look outside, and she said, "We have a bird feeder." And so she was really surprised, and I looked outside, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that Dave went and bought us a bird feeder, and we have had so much fun with that bird feeder. It's the bird feeder and the bird bath. It's still too cold for the birds to get into the bird bath, but they are on the edge of the bird bath, and they are taking turns and getting water. So we've just been watching them, and I don't think the squirrels can get up there the way that the bird bath is made. I haven't seen any squirrels up there yet trying to get water, but we've had several birds, and they're actually eating the seed, which I thought was going to be a little bit too early for the bird seed. And we're starting to get our hummingbird feeders out, getting those ready. But Salem, our cat, will sit there, and it is driving her crazy because it's close to the window that she loves to sit in front of. And she is just exhausted. She can't sleep because every time that she wants to fall asleep, she'll see a bird, and then she's afraid she's going to miss something. So we've had a really good time with the bird feeder just because of the cat. And I think that if the birds really use the bird bath as a bird bath, that is really going to drive her insane. And we've had a gorgeous cardinal today that was on our front porch, and was just sitting there staring at us. And so she was staring at the cardinal. The only thing that I'm really watching is that birds love our front porch. It has a cover, but it's not screened in or anything, and it's real nice. We can sit out there, but every spring we get a bird's nest, and they stay until about the end of April, first part of May, and then they take off. Well, we've had a couple of wrens that make their bird's nest right at the alcove of our front porch. And they don't bother us. We don't bother them. We'll have people come to our front door. We use our front door, and the birds are fine. Last year was a totally different story. We had cardinals that made a bird's nest on our light. And we never had one that made a bird's nest on the light before, on the outside light. Well, this bird was mean. And she also had another bird. I don't know if it was the male bird. We couldn't really tell. I think it was actually another female that would stay on guard while she was either in the nest or, she would step away. And if you would come up even within several feet of our porch, this bird would come out and try to attack you. We finally we couldn't even use our front door. We had to use the garage door. And when we had some people want to come up to our front door, we had to end up putting a huge sign that looked really tacky in our front yard saying, do not come up to the yard because of the birds. And this one guy, he was doing some soliciting for something. I think it was gutters, or I don't know what it was. And he just completely ignored this sign, knocked on the door. I barely opened the door, and I told him, I said, you are about to get attacked by a bird. And I said, I'm not coming out there. I'll go out around the garage and you need to be careful because this bird is going to attack you. And he's like, oh no, I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, next thing I knew, the bird flew out from, so it wasn't even on the porch, it was somewhere hiding, watching the nest, and started to attack this guy. I just slammed the front door. I'm like, you're on your own, dude. I'm not about to get out there and get attacked by this bird. And so then after that, he comes flying over there. I go to out the garage to make sure he's okay. And then he started in, well, that bird, I thought I was dead, and just started on and on about this bird. I said, well, here, he said, I didn't see a sign, got kind of nasty with me. And so I told him, I said, the sign is right here. There's no way you can miss the sign unless you're not paying attention. Well, of course he wasn't paying attention. He was on his phone, completely missed this huge sign. And so after that, I told my husband, I said, we got to do something because I don't want to deal with that again. So he fixed the light to where they cannot make a nest on the light. And I love to have potted plants outside and hanging plants on my porch. But I'm not ever doing that again because every time that I do, we have birds, more than one, will make nests in all of my plants. They kill the plants, and then also it's like we have bird fights. We have, birds are just making a total mess on my porch. We can't go out there and sit and drink our morning coffee, on our gazebo because of the birds. And then every time that I am thinking about these birds, I think of Alfred Hitchcock and the movie The Birds. And that movie scared the daylights out of me. I was much younger when I first started watching that. And after that, I've absolutely hated blackbirds. And now it's any kind of birds because I just do not want these birds on my porch. So I'm having to put some plants on our back porch. And they don't seem to bother the plants on the back porch. One thing, it's not covered. We don't have a covered deck. So I think because of that, birds aren't really interested in our deck and in my potted plants. And we did go on Saturday to the hardware store. We ended up going to Lowe's. And I looked at some plants. I didn't buy any, but they have some gorgeous plants out, hanging plants. But I am doing another renovation in my craft room. I just cannot get my room the way that I want it. One problem with my craft room is it's a really good size, but I have a lot of heavy, really big furniture. It takes up a lot of space. And one of my pieces of furniture is called a scrap box. And now it is called the Dream Box. But I bought it when it first came. I didn't even buy it, but I got it when it first came out. It was given to me. I had to pay taxes and shipping for this. And then my husband had to put it together. My scrap box was perfect when I had a smaller space and I scrapbooked primarily, and it worked out great. All my things fit in there. I didn't have nearly as much as what I have now. And then also with my scrap box, I had supplies that was small enough that it fit in the scrap box perfectly. And it doesn't have, or mine doesn't. The newer ones are much better than the one that I have. But the scrap box that I have, since it was the newest one, it was the oldest one, it is not as sturdy as the newer Dream boxes. And I loved it. It has served its purpose, but now that I am doing a couple of different crafts, I'm no longer scrapbooking. I don't really have a need to scrapbook, and I don't want to. I just am not in the mood to do that anymore. It's not something that I really enjoy. When I was doing it, I absolutely loved it, but the kids were younger, and then even when they were in high school, and Madison was in her first year of college, we still had, quite a bit that both of the kids did because Paige was still in high school, and then Madison still did quite a bit of things. But it's like now the kids are grown up. We don't take that many photos, and I don't want to spend my time scrapbooking. And on top of that, I don't have the place to put all of these albums. I have so many albums, and some have multiple double pictures and different things I need to go through. That is a huge undertaking and a huge project that I keep saying every year I'm going to tackle. And every year I put it off because it is so much work that's going to be. So when I decided not to scrapbook anymore, I got rid of a lot of those supplies, but now I'm making cards, and my card supplies work better in a Kallax, which is from IKEA. I like it's cubes, and I like the cubes. It works out great, especially with Stampin' Up! Products. And then I buy my organizers from Stampin' Storage, and they fit perfectly in my Kallax. So I'm using that more than I am my scrap box. My scrap box is not in use that much. I do have quite a bit of stuff in there that I need to go through, but I really want that wall. And I need to have a designated place for diamond painting and a designated place for my card making. I also do some memory keeping, which is different than scrapbooking. And then I do some creative journaling and Bible journaling. So I'd like to have my journaling and my card making on one table and all of my supplies rather close, and then have all of my diamond painting supplies and my diamond painting, all the accessories and my canvases that I'm working on another table. And I really am worried that when I make cards, if I have my diamond painting out, I do not want to get ink or anything on it. It will not come out if that were to happen. So anyway, I've been thinking and just racking my brain, what can I do? It looks really cluttered in here. I don't like the way that this looks. And then whenever we do decide to move, then I'll have to figure something out because we're going to downsize. I don't see me having this large of a space that I have now. And I want to go ahead and start thinking about that, even though it may be years before we move, or it may be no time, who knows. But anyway, I've been thinking about it, and my best friend has a bedroom that she uses as her craft room. And she has about as much stuff as I do, except she doesn't diamond paint. So she has a wall shelving that her husband made for her, and it works out perfectly. So I've been thinking about that for a long time, but I thought I don't have the wall space because my scrap box takes up my entire wall, takes up an entire wall in my room. So I was talking to my husband. I showed him a picture of what my friends looked like, and I said, I want something like this. I want it a little bit different, and this is what I'd like to have. Can it be done? And he loves doing things like that. So he said, yeah, sure, of course. And that sounds like a good idea. You can sell your scrap box, and that will free you up, a lot of room. And you can even get another table and put in there. And that could be all of your supplies that you use when you are doing your cards or you're doing your journaling. So we went to Lowe's. And he just loves Lowe's. That was like me going into a bookstore or me going into a craft store. I can look in there forever and end up not buying anything. But he does the same thing with Lowe's. And I thought, I know, maybe he'll just go by himself. But a lot of times he will. And we were going to go out to Costco and do some shopping. And he went instead of going the way that we would go to Costco, he started going a different way. And I thought, oh no, he is going to want to go to Lowe's. We're going to be in there forever. And we walked around a lot. He was walking fast. And then he just started walking. I'm like, what are we doing now? You're just walking. What are you looking for? So we did get everything that we needed. So now I've got to empty my scrap box, which it is full. And then from there, my husband said I didn't have to really empty all of it. We can just scoot it over in the middle of the floor, and then he will have room to put up my shelving. And so I think he's going to do that over the weekend. So my room will be torn up yet again, but I am just over this. I want to be able to have a room where I can find everything, and I also need to purge again. I purged last summer, and I got rid of quite a bit. I was able to sell a lot of things I no longer use, a bunch of stamps that I don't use anymore, I got tired of using, and sold those. I'm definitely going to sell my scrap box. That's going to be something that will be local. Hopefully I will be able to sell it. And then also I have a table that goes with my scrap box, and it is called a dream, I think it's a dream cart. And I bought that about 3 years ago or so, and I never have liked it. It just doesn't serve the purpose that it's supposed to serve. And so I am going to try to get rid of those things and then just see what all supplies I don't use and then do something with them. If you hear my neighbor, he has a landscaper, and this guy has been out there off and on all day, and all he's doing is blowing leaves. And my dogs are outside, and Molly's not happy because I know that this landscaper, he's really just a yard man, but they call him a landscaper. I know for a fact, without even having to look outside, he is blowing a lot of my neighbor's leaves over into our yard. He does it every single year, and he just blows the leaves everywhere. He doesn't rake them up. He will even put them in this guy's backyard, and he has this huge pile of leaves in the backyard. And then in the summer, he will go out there, and eventually he will pick all the leaves up. I think he waits until all of his customers around here start to pitch a fit and tell him that they want their leaves up. And so Molly's out there barking at him, trying to get him to stop blowing their leaves in our yard. And we have a camera out there, and so does my neighbor. And last year my neighbor quit using this guy because he just kept doing stuff like this, and then he ruined all of my neighbor's bushes, ruined 3 of our bushes. It was right on the line, but they were our bushes and not my neighbor's bushes. And so he quit using him, and then he started using this guy in. I don't know why he decided to use him. He even told this guy on several occasions that he didn't like what he was doing, and he swore, I'm not doing that, your neighbors are doing it. And then my neighbor said, dude, I gotta have you on camera, and they do too. You want to see the video? And he still argued and said that he wasn't doing that, and it was very clear that he was. So I hate that he is back. And when my husband's out there, when he's home, and if this guy comes and my husband's home, he goes outside, he gets his blower, and they start having dueling fights. Not really fight, but he'll have his blower out, and they just have leaves going everywhere. And then our neighbor's just busting out laughing. And then my neighbor calls me, and he's like, you need to see this. I figured the first time that my husband did this, my neighbor would be really mad. But he was out there just laughing his tail off. And I don't know if this landscaper thought my husband was, kidding, teasing him or what, but I thought this is not going to end up very well. But he did get the message. He finally just stopped and left, and then he thought he would come back. He thought my husband wasn't home, and he was home. He was on vacation that day or got home early or something, and went out there, and they started doing the same thing again. And we have a lot of leaves. We do not need to have to deal with somebody else's leaves because we have so many leaves in our yard. It is just ridiculous. And let's see. This week was some week of closings, and it's just really sad. I'm sure by now everyone has heard, but we have a closing from one of my favorite companies, and that, of course, is Craftably. I do have several of their diamond paintings, and I am thankful for that. I wish that I would have gone in and bought some more recently, so I'd have a more recent stash from them. I did buy last year when they were doing the Make It or Break It sale. I bought a couple from them, and they had more to choose from. They did have a gnome that I thought was really cute. It wasn't something that I had to have, and it said they had 14 left. And then when I went in, I thought, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. I'm going to do it. Even though I said I wasn't going to buy anything in February, I thought this would be a good reason to break the no-buy. But they had sold them, and there really wasn't anything else I wanted. And I thought, I just can't really buy anything else anyway because I have so many that I have got to get my stash under control. And it's not something that I just absolutely have to have. And at this point, it's not going to help them either. So it's really not going to do anything if I were to purchase or not. So I opted not to buy anything from Craftably, but I do wish the owners the very best. I really do hate that they are closing shop. There's been others that have closed over the years, and it hasn't really, I don't want to say it hasn't upset me. It hasn't really bothered me, it's like but with Craftably, I really do hate that because they, they were a small business. They were, family owned, and I didn't know them personally, but they seemed like really nice people. Their customer service was really good, and they were very active in our community. So I do wish them the best. And that if you want any diamond paintings from Craftably, you may want to go on their site to see what little they have remaining. And maybe they'll find some more that they didn't know they had, but I doubt it because they had their own warehouse and they had closed down the warehouse last year. I think it was last year. And they decided to have another warehouse that I'm assuming was in China. And so they probably did not have any other diamond paintings that were just laying around that they had overlooked. But you never know. Maybe someone decided not to buy something, or maybe that the numbers were wrong. I don't know. But I do wish them the very best. Hopefully they will still hang out around with the community. But if they don't, I totally understand. That might be really painful for them for a while since they're closing their business. Another business that closed has nothing to do with diamond painting, but has to do with card making, paper making, and that is close to my heart. Close to my heart is an online store, and I used to buy quite frequently from them. And at one point, I was a demonstrator with them, and I ended up getting away from that. But I hadn't bought anything in a long time, but I have a lot of their stamps, a lot of their inks, and they decided that they were also going to close because the owner wanted to close on their terms and not on the public's terms, meaning that she couldn't make it, that she'd be forced to close, and she did not want to do that. So that was really sad. And I have some good friends that have worked with Close to My Heart for 20 plus years. And so luckily, Stamping Up, which is another online company, has decided to buy out Close to My Heart, buy out some of their products. They're going to continue manufacturing and to move over into their catalog. And all of their demonstrators, which I think they call makers, they are going to be able to move over to Stamping Up. I don't think they're having to pay to do that, to sign up. And so that is nice that they're given that opportunity. But I know it has to be hard because they have all Close to My Heart products. And so now they're going to have Stampin' Up products in order to be able to do their classes, their online classes too. And I know that's not easy because it's not cheap. I think any kind of crafting is going to cost you something. And especially if you go all in, it is going to be more expensive as a demonstrator, because I've done that, so I totally get that. So that was really sad too, that we lost both of those. And then also we had another small business that was a local business. It was a family-owned business that was in my town where we live. They had been around for 40 some odd years, and they closed this past week. And I knew that was coming, but it's still really sad that they closed after so many years. Heartfelt Creations is another business. They announced last year that they were going to go out of business, and I really like their stamps. They have some of the best stamps in the business, and their stamps are different kind of stamps, but I have more than I can ever use of theirs. I wasn't planning on buying anymore for a long time, and they had some really nice paper, so I did get some sales from them last year, and they're staying open until all of their inventory is sold, or they just decide that it is time to close. I don't think they have much inventory left, but I got to meet one of the owners of the business when I went to a convention that was here in Atlanta, and she is just super nice. And so I'm glad that I got to meet her and talk to her for a little bit. My best friend and I got a picture made with her, and so we thought we were fangirling, both of us. We're like, oh, that's Emma Lou, and we were so excited to see her. But they decided that it was just time. Her mother was ready to retire. She had been with the business for years, many years, and she was ready to do something with her business. She didn't want to sell the business. She wanted to just close it, and I guess that her daughter decided that that's what she was going to do too, that her and her husband didn't want to continue running it either. So it seems like a lot of small shops are closing, especially the online ones. But a lot of craft shops, I think because there's so much competition now, that a lot of places are having to close because of the competition. There's just so many. And if you think of diamond painting, when I first started, there really wasn't a lot of choices. And so now there are so many options of diamond paintings that you can actually, purchase. You can do discount companies, you can go for the premiums, you can do customs, and even think of the cross stitch conversion. I had no idea what that was until I came across Add More Zest, and I started looking and I thought, what is this? What is she doing? And once I saw the cross stitch conversion, then I got really interested in it. So that's fairly new too, and I never would have thought about that for diamond painting. I'm looking at this sideways, trying to figure out what this is. I think it's this one. I haven't done this in so long, I cannot remember on here what some of the symbols, where they are in my container. I'll be glad to finish this for many reasons. I mean, it's really pretty. I don't want it to get messed up, so I'm ready to put it in my spare bedroom where I keep all of my diamond paintings. And I'm also going to be excited that I can start using my Elizabeth Ward again. I have several Elizabeth Wards. Well, I shouldn't say several. I think I have 4 Elizabeth Ward trays. Say that really fast. And they all have drills in them. So I want to start using those so I can move those out of the way. My dog is quiet. She's asleep. She's doing so well. I'm so proud of her. And now the neighbor's dog is out there barking, and he is never outside. So it's like, come on, I just want to do a video. What is the problem? Maybe it's because I record in my basement that I pick up all kinds of noises. Maybe if I recorded upstairs, that it wouldn't be as noisy. I wouldn't be able to hear so many people, and especially next door, because my craft room window is right at my next door neighbors. We have some property between us, not a lot. Not as much as I would like to have separating all of us, but it's not right on top of each other either. And it's still noisy. Gotten quite a bit done on this one section. This is definitely my goal, to get this one finished. I am prepping for an upcoming retreat that I'm going to. It is a journaling retreat, and we have finally been given a list of items that we should bring, and it's like 2 pages of products and supplies. Now, I have everything that I need. There was one thing that my best friend and I have been going back and forth. Should we buy this? Should we not? We've been talking about it for over a year. And so we decided what we wanted was on sale. We went ahead and got it. And so we'll have that one particular item that we've really been, wanting and looking at. And then everything else I have. But they didn't say like what color schemes that we're going to be doing or what we're going to be doing. They're not saying if these supplies are for classes that they're going to be holding or make and takes, or if it's just something that they're suggesting that we take when we work on in our own personal time. I have no idea. We've never been to this retreat before. We don't know anybody that's ever been. So we're kind of going by the seat of our pants. We have no idea. It's like 5 hours away from my house, which is okay because, we're driving together. So we'll have plenty of time to have a good time. Nice girl road trip. I'm really looking forward to it. But then I started looking at all this and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to take more of supplies than I am of clothes. And I'm going to have to take a suitcase just for my supplies because my rolling craft cart, it was good again when I was scrapbooking. Everything fit in there really well. But what we use now, it just doesn't fit in there very well. And my best friend takes an actual suitcase and she just rolls it in there. And so I told her I'm going to have to see what suitcase of ours I can take. I think Dave has one that is not huge. I don't want a big suitcase. I don't want a small one either. Kind of a medium size. So I'm going to ask him if I can borrow his suitcase. I'm sure he'll let me, but I'll ask. And I'll borrow his suitcase and put all my stuff in there. But what we're going to do is, instead of taking duplicates, we're just going to, she's going to take certain things, I'm going to take certain things. And so that way we're not just each taking all of this stuff. And we share together very well. So looking forward to going, but now I've got to find time to get everything together. And that is just going to take me a while too. So I'm going to work on that over the weekend. And as far as diamond painting goes, I think that's everything for the most part for what's going on around here. Madison is doing very well in her anatomy and physiology class, and it's online, so I was a little concerned with that because she has taken this class before and it was in class and so was the lab, and so she struggled with the lab. And the lab in this class is also online, which I found that to be really strange. But she seems to be doing okay. She likes it much better than when she had taken it in Georgia. So hopefully she'll be done with that soon. And I don't think she's taking any classes in the summer. But I'm not sure if summer classes are required for the program that she's in. I guess I need to talk to her, because if it is, I need to find out what she's taking, how much it's going to cost, all that fun stuff. I was hoping that she would be finished with this before all of the wedding costs hit, but don't think that's going to be the case. I think that it will be close to the same time. I think she will be close to getting out of school about the time that they are getting married. And my neighbor's guy is back again. I thought he was done. I stopped for a little bit in hopes that it wouldn't be so noisy to hear this guy's blower going. And he is back. It's like they don't have that large of a yard. I don't know why he is just blowing leaves around everywhere. And I'm scared to go and look at our yard because we don't have a yard man. My yard man is my husband. He refuses to pay for someone to do things that we can do ourselves. I would love to have someone come in and clean my house, a house cleaner. Even every other week, I would be happy with that. But he just does not go for that. I even told him I would pay it out of my money, and no. And I'm the only one that cleans. Paige helps me, but I'm the one that cleans. He doesn't. But he just doesn't feel comfortable with someone in our house cleaning, even though I would be here, Paige would be here. And he said, that's something that I think is ridiculous for you to pay when we can do it ourselves. But I take care of the inside. He takes care of the outside. I help him every once in a while outside, and he helps inside too. But anyway, he is our yard guy. So it's not like we have someone that can blow our leaves somewhere else or clean up after this guy, because it is us. So anyway, back to the diamond painting. I kind of went off the rail there. But as far as diamond painting goes, I had a video that went out today for me on Monday. It would be yesterday for you if you're watching this on Tuesday. But I had my month in review for February, and I almost said January several times. When I was making the thumbnail for that video, I almost put January on there. I thought, this is absolutely insane that we're already in March. And I say that every month, and you'll hear me say it probably again in April, that, it's insane how we're already through the first quarter of the year. But February did go by fast, and I think part of that was, of course, it was a shorter month, but also the Paint Gym event that I hosted, that kept me super busy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved reading all the comments. I loved all the interaction in Facebook, Instagram, even on YouTube. I had several comments. And so that was a lot of fun. I did finish my butterflies. They turned out gorgeous. And I did frame those. So I have a video on that as well, where I framed my butterflies. I'm not sure about this frame. I really like how it looks. Excuse me. I like how it looks, but the only thing about it is that on one of the bottom of it's a collage, and on one of the bottom sections, the actual acrylic keeps coming loose. So then my painting that I have in there drops, and it just doesn't look very good. So I've got to figure out what I need to do to get that to where it looks better. And I think I have seen some of you that have actually used this frame. I purchased it from Amazon. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I need to look at that again. But it did turn out very pretty. And I do plan on hosting that event again next year, as long as Paint Jim, approves and tells me that it's not a problem. And it's not because of them being one of the sponsors that I ask. It's just because it is for their company. It's very specific, and because it is very specific, then I do ask. I mean, like for instance, Josephine Wall. That's going to be an event that I am co-hosting in April. But on that event, you can use any licensed Josephine Wall canvas. So I'm not having a company's name as part of the event. And I thought because of that, I wanted to give them the courtesy and just see if it was okay, because maybe they didn't want to do that. But they were all for it. So hopefully it was a good event and they didn't have any problems, and they enjoyed it, enjoyed seeing everyone's completions. So I am planning on putting that on next year's schedule. And I am working on this one, as I mentioned, hoping to get this done in March. And then also I am working on my Josephine Wall from last year, hoping to get that one finished. That's very confetti heavy, but I love working on it, and I think I can get it done. That's the plan. And then if I have any time after that, I will start on something else. But Craftiest Kristen said it best on one of her comments, and I mentioned that I'm trying to get some of my WIPs completed, my work in progress that I've started, but I haven't finished them. And she said that this is the year for wrapping up the WIPs, and I thought that is really catchy. I like that phrase. And so that's what I am doing now. I am trying to wrap up my WIPs. I was hoping that I could get all of my WIPs wrapped up by the end of the year, but I've changed my mind there. As long as I get some of my WIPs done, I will be happy. If I could get all of them done, that would be amazing. But I don't think that that's going to be a possibility, because I do have other diamond paintings that I want to do, and some of them are newer, some are not. I do have 5 of my oldest diamond paintings that I want to get done for this year, and surprisingly, they are all Diamond Art Club, my 5 oldest in my stash. Now after these 5, I think I will have others, but when I first started out, it was all Diamond Art Club, and so I collected more Diamond Art Club than anything else. So those I would love to get finished, and then next year I will take the next 5 and see what those are. And that's really it for March. I am going to officially participate in Mermaids and Magic, and I am not planning on doing any events this year unless something just happens to work with whatever I plan on working on. And I'm not going to officially participate, so I'm not filling out their Google Doc. I'm not putting in, you know, I will put some progress photos in, but I'm not going to participate. But I will just put the hashtag so others can see it if they are interested in the Mermaids and Magic. But I thought if I am going to try to get my goals for what I have decided for this year, and they're kind of aggressive. I didn't really think they were when I first set these up, but they're a little aggressive on trying to get what I want done. So if I get some of those done, I'll be really happy, but I can't concentrate on me participating in events and also trying to get my work in progress finished. But we'll see how everything goes. I have completed one that was in my WIPs. And then this will be a second one that'll be a completion. So that will at least help towards that goal. And I'm going to start doing some preparations for my canvas that I plan on working on in April for the event if I get the one I'm working on finished. So I'll need to get that one kitted up. I also have, and that's from Diamond Painting Deutschland, I have a kit from the one with the diamond art that I have purchased from them, and I have not opened that one. I have one that I bought last year, and I purchased a round, and I keep looking at it and looking at it, and I'm thinking I don't think that this is going to be very good for a round because it is black and white on the symbols. And so I don't know if you will be able to see, if I'm not careful, some of the black symbols that come through if I do not have my diamond placed correctly. So on that one, I'm just going to put that one up for a while. I may end up selling it. I don't know, but I'm just putting that one up. I'm going to work on a square one that I purchased. I'm going to do that one and work on my Josephine wall. Now, Josephine wall, Diamond Painting Deutschland. Now, the one from the one with the diamond art, I may not get very far on it. I may just do a small section, but I really do want to get started because I've had so many people ask me what I think of their renderings, and I don't know because I've opened it. It looks good. It looks intimidating because of the black and white, but just take it a section at a time. And just like you would a mystery canvas, since it is black and white, it's hard to tell what anything is on there. But I'm just going to take one small section. I did purchase the one that I have not unboxed yet. I did purchase on that one a smaller kit, because the one that I have is rather large, and this one I think is like a 50 by 70, so I don't think that's going to be too bad. Then I have to figure out the best way for me to kit this up, and I've never kitted up by color before. I might do that on that one, and then if it doesn't work out for me, then I can rearrange my drills and I can go ahead and put them in order that works best for me. So that's really what I'm looking at. I do have a video coming up on Thursday, which is going to be a completion video. And then on Saturday, I am going to be kitting up. And I am going to start doing the second WIP and Chat where I have my massive cross stitch. I'm going to start doing that one once a month. And I think I'm going to do that like on the third Saturday of the month. And that way I have more time to work on it, and then also I have more comments. I was going to do one this past Saturday and realized I didn't have very many comments from one week to the next, and I really didn't have anything to talk about. So I think I'm going to just schedule it in as once a month. I'm not getting rid of it, but I just need to figure out what's going to work best. I am going to call it a day on this one and for you guys. And I am not really sure how long this is. Hopefully it was close to an hour. I had to stop a couple of times just because the guy next door was very annoying and I just could not really talk over his blower. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you like how I have the camera set up, the angle for this WIP Chat, and anything else you'd like to comment on. I love to respond back to you guys, or just put an emoji out there so I know that you were out there listening. Thanks again, and if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber here. Just click on that subscribe button. And if you would like to join the members here, we would love to have you. There are 5 of us now, 6 including me. And we do have live chats once a month. And then also I have some additional videos and some additional content that I am working on for them. And you can cancel at any time. It's no obligation whatsoever. It is always appreciated, but it is never, ever expected. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye!